for anybody that's joining us, the reason that I'm doing the impromptu live stream is we had some technical difficulties with the storms today, and it fried a bunch of my equipment. So I had to go out today and get some new equipment that we're doing a test run on before our actual live stream, scheduled live stream for tomorrow at 11:30 a.m., which will go on whatever the time change. It will go along with the time change, so that will be what it is. Walk by Faith, what's going on? Good to see you. So we're just doing a little checking out the equipment here tonight, Faith. Thanks for showing up. Rick Stumpball, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, like I was saying, I don't know if it was the storm overnight here or whatever, but I woke up and a bunch of my equipment was fried that was charging up. What's going on, Kyle? Good to see you. And so I had to go out today and get new equipment, which needed to happen anyway. So we're going to give it all a test run and see how this is all going. So I hope everybody, if you can hear me okay, see me okay, please just hit the one. Lobster today. Yeah, I'm having some lobsters. I'm just kind of making a late dinner. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, man, maybe I should do a real quick test run and make sure that everything's running okay. Is this live with Honey J? Yes, it is, Val. Good. You could make it. Seeing here, fine. Great. Okay, great, Rick. That's awesome. Because that's what I was really worried about more than anything, is actually being able to be heard, seen, and that it would all go right. And I was hoping Val would show up. So everything's going great for me right now. The only problem is I couldn't upload a thumbnail. So we're going with the blah blah thumbnail. And now that I got that all set up, and I got to get everything else in there. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna glove up here real quick. We're gonna cut up some fruit and some vegetables, and we're gonna get going. Everything looks a little farther away. I'll have to work on that, but I don't want to mess with the screen right now. Maybe I'll just take you guys in just a little bit closer to normal, and I'll have to mess around with all the other stuff. But anyway, we're gonna get started. We're gonna cut up our lemons. We're gonna do some strawberries. Like I said, I'm just basically making my dinner. So, and doing a test run before the live stream actually goes on tomorrow. Let's see. Let's party begin. Val's here. Yeah, exactly. Let's let the party begin. I got a big bottle of sparkling water to celebrate. Anyway, so let's get started with this. I'm going to cut up the vegetables. I'm going to have a little salad. I'm going to have some lemon to go on top, and we're going to do that with our melted butter. And I'm going to, now for all you, if you're a lobster aficionado out there, I am not a lobster aficionado. I am from the Midwest. Lobster is not our forte, but I've been messing around with it the last couple weeks, and I'm kind of getting the hang of it, if that's what you could say, the hang of it. Squish your lemons up a little bit. Let me rinse off my vegetables. We'll cut those up real quick for the salad, and then we'll go from there. Do that off camera. I should have done that beforehand, but I'm absolutely famished. I haven't eaten since this morning. I went and started working on getting the new equipment, which I thought would be really cool. But the problem, and easy to do, but the big problem is that most everything that I had everything linked through, when it was all dead, there was nothing to link it back to. So there was no way to verify anything. That's laptops, that's phone, that's tablets, everything was there. So I had to link it up, kind of, I don't know, man. It was basically like going back and doing everything rabbit ear style. So that's just how that went. The water opened up, and we'll be ready to go. Kenyon Handren, what's that? Oh, it's just water. Just bubbly water. Necessity. So let me go sneak past you. We're going to cut up our vegetables real quick. And we're just going to make, like I said, we're not doing anything great. We're just going to do a real simple salad. We're going to do a couple lobster tails. And these aren't even really like nice Maine lobsters. These are just rock lobsters, which are really small. If you want to get into some really good lobster, you got to get into the Maine lobsters. These are just from the local supermarket that I picked up today. And I finally got everything that I wanted to do this morning done around the house. And now I can actually have some dinner, which is about, what is it now? About 5 hours after I usually have dinner. So got that going for me, which is not really cool. Let's see who's all checked in here tonight. Yeah, rock lobsters, Val. No, badger mean. What's that? Badger mean. Lost in translation on that one. But yeah, and I'm going to keep the salad really simple. Really, really simple. Just some lettuce, peppers, tomatoes, a little bit of cauliflower, maybe some blue cheese dressing, or something along those lines. Something pretty simple. We're going to keep it real easy. And actually, even the beagle is Adam, who's been all over me today, is actually in there. She's sleeping on the couch watching. I don't know what she's watching. I think I put on just whatever comes on the TV. So she's watching that. I think she's watching the royal wedding. I think she really is. I think that's what's on. Whatever's pre-programmed on that comes with the TV. I just turned on the first thing. She was watching Knight Rider a little bit ago. Let's see, where we at here? Just checking our thing. It's our history key. Let's see, what's a badger? Oh, me. That's me. Let's cut up part of this. I don't know. We'll cut up the whole thing. I am absolutely famished. I had a lot of stuff planned to make today. I wanted to work on my sourdough. And after I woke up and I had nothing, no technology but Wi-Fi this morning, I ended up having breakfast pizza at the gas station on my way to about 4 different places to pick up different forms of technology. So it was pretty unexpected, but a lot of the stuff needed upgraded anyway, and it'll get figured out. But the whole thing that was frustrating about it is not having the other things to verify numbers to easily. So I had to come back, bring everything back, dig up old passwords to things that I haven't done, PIN numbers, you name it. I had to do all that stuff. Let me get a bowl down so we can make some room. Let's see, where are we at here? We have gloves on, if you don't mind me asking. Just because I'm going to be messing with lobster, and this way I don't have to keep washing my hands and all that stuff. That's the only reason. Yeah, that is it for the reason why, for the gloves. There we go. So hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's ready for the time change, which I think is the biggest. Man, I absolutely despise the time change. I don't know why it's still a thing and why it was ever a thing. I mean, I get why it was a thing, but most regions don't need a time change to get anything to get anything done. It's kind of an antiquated thing that never really should have lasted as long as it did. And being a former farmer, I never found much use of a time change anyway. Didn't really make any difference. I've combined a lot of fields at 1 o'clock in the morning, and the time change wouldn't have made any difference to that whatsoever. None. And at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's not light out anyway. Throw that stuff away. All right, that's out of the way. Let's see. See what everybody's talking about. Can I be a moderator? I don't know. Hardmon. Let's see. Not sure what we're voting on, but I vote Lodge Yellowstone series, and Honey Badger will get. I have one Yellowstone somewhere. I have one. And you know what? If I wouldn't have already had the 17, I have a regular, like, plain logo Lodge 17. And if I didn't have that, I would absolutely love to have the, Yellowstone 17. That thing is, that's one of the cooler designs. And, the Yellowstone series for Lodge is a really cool series. And I don't know why more people didn't make a bigger deal out of it, because it was super cool. That lettuce is hard as a brick bat. We're just going to cut that. Hope for the best. I'll be glad when the farmers markets come back around. I'm so sick of store-bought vegetables. But yeah, the Yellowstone series, I just have the number 8 with the big Y on the back. And the reason I got it, one, because it is super cool. It's a good logo. But I got it so that everybody who shows up and stays, like the kids or friends or anybody that wants to use a cast iron skillet to cook with, I always tell them they can use the Yellowstone skillet. And it makes it easier for them because most people know what Yellowstone is. They're familiar with the logos. And if they do anything terrible to it, then they didn't do it to one of my 100-plus-year-old vintage cast iron pieces that I painstakingly restored and sought after. And that way, if they leave it on the stove or forget to clean it or whatever, it's no big deal. So as I look over at the rack, the cast iron rack, I'm wondering if Meng has taken that with her. I don't see it sitting over there. Let's see. What are you making tonight? Oh, I'm going to keep it real here. Very cool. Very cool. I'm going to make just a simple salad. I'm going to make a couple rock lobster tails that I've been kind of experimenting with on how to bake lobster tail. Should have used a bigger bowl. Oh well. Impromptu. Impromptu means impromptu. Let me my hands off. And we'll wipe that off, and then we'll cut up some lemons and strawberries, and then we'll go. Mercy B, what's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, everybody please hit the like button. If you're new, you like hanging out, cooking some good food. Maybe pick up a little knowledge about cast iron on the way. What I don't know, there are people in this audience that definitely would know. We have some experienced restoration folks, collectors, and honestly, and I will die on this hill, this is one of the best audiences, if not the best audience on YouTube. It's fun. Let's see, get that out of the way. All right, so the salad is semi-done. I do need to, yeah. And if things weren't worse, the light, I just went to check on the stove a little bit ago, and the light in the stove is out. So I spent all that time in town, which I never go to town. I go to town about once every month, month and a half. And now I need to go get a light bulb for the oven. But I don't think the storm had anything to do with that. I think it was the fact that there's a strainer that sits there in the back. You can kind of see that. The very top is that light. And I think that strainer hit that. And it's been on for like 3 or 4 days straight. And I think it was just finally hit for the light bulb. I actually found your live today. Yeah, there you go. I do have some of the stuff turned on. Hopefully some of the stuff that I worked on getting with all the stuff after we hit 1,000 subscribers actually stayed in the settings, because everything's totally different. I've got to work on the camera, like which aspect ratio to use, that I thought I had right until I actually turned it on. And then we're going to come over this way just a little bit. We've got that done. And while I'm thinking about it, we've got our little Descoware number 3. And we're going to break that out. And we're going to melt some butter. We're going to throw our melted butter together, because nobody wants just plain butter. So we'll crank that on. We'll add our butter to that. And probably about half of that. That should be about enough of the butter. And then we're going to drop in some bay leaf. That's salted butter, by the way. So we're going to drop in a couple bay leaves. 1 bay leaf in there should be plenty, I'm thinking, because the lobsters are small and there's not a lot of butter. So unless I grab a couple small ones, which is what I got out of the thing. So a couple bay leaves out of there. And some chopped chive. And some chives into there. No fresh chives today, because it is winter. There is no fresh anything right now. Everything I have is dried, either from the garden from last summer or from, and a little parsley into there. Not a ton of parsley, just some. There's that. And let me grab a little bit of garlic, and we'll go from there. I've been out for a few weeks. Don't have more than 4,000. Yeah, for more than, yeah, I wouldn't know what to do with 4,000 subs. I think something was wrong. We have tons of views with just subs, man. I don't know. That's a strange animal. And a little bit of garlic paste in there. Would be equal about a clove or so. Clove or 2. Small clove or 2. It's the Bigs. Yeah, it's the Bigs. It's not me. The star of the show's in there sleeping. And she's off duty. She doesn't have her security vest on. She's not wearing a sweater. It was surprisingly warm here today. I think it hit almost 71 degrees at one point, which is really odd for this time of year. Though I do remember when Ming was little, when she was in T-ball, I took her, she had a game. I was a coach for her T-ball team. And we had one day in March, into March, where it was 81 degrees. And Ming is very fair-skinned, to say the least. And we had sunscreen all around all of her face. And we even have to put it like in her hair part. When her hair, used to have really, well, she still has really long hair, but it was parted down the middle, and we had to like take a little bit of sunscreen and kind of run it down the part of her head. And we didn't put any around her eyes. And she was out in the sun all day on the baseball diamond. She had like 2 or 3 games. It was like tournament time. And that kid's face was protected from the sunscreen except for around her eyes. And she burnt around her eyes. She looked like a little raccoon for like a week. It was the funniest thing. I mean, not funny for her. She had to have aloe vera smeared all over her face, but it was funny to me in my own little dad way. we were in the 90s yesterday. Wow, that is hot. That is pretty warm. I don't need that. I'm not ready for that. I was out messing around in the garage yesterday, and boy, I tell you what, it was hot. It was hot out there. It was like 80. I had to open the garage door because I was doing stuff out there, and it got 80 in there, and I thought I was gonna die. I'm not ready for all that yet. Poor Minster. Yeah, she was burnt, man, and she was probably like 7, 8, little kid t-ball age. However old you are when you do that, 6. She was little. Her eyeballs were, all around her eyes were bright red. It was like a Halloween costume. So we cut up our lemons. Oh, we'll get some lemon juice in there. That's why we rolled the lemon around. So we get that into there. Lemon wedges cut up. And we'll throw a little, not much of that left. Throw some juice squeeze some juice into the butter, which should probably make it separate. And some seeds. Let's put a nice little bit of juice in there without the seed in it. That could be it all helped. There we go. Squeeze some lemon down in there. All right, cool. That's done. And that'll be enough to brush on the top when we're all ready to do that. So let's get out the rest of these bad boys. Cut these lemons up a little bit more. There we go. Some lemon wedges. Might as well cut them all up while we got them sitting right here. I'll break that back over to the board. There we are. Yeah, I'm pretty surprised. I'm pretty stoked to see what's in that box. If you guys didn't see the post today, we had one of our viewers sent me a surprise mystery box to open during the live stream tomorrow at some point. So that'll start off at 11:30. And at some point between then and 1 o'clock, we will be opening up a mystery box. I have no idea what's in this mystery box. I just know that I promised to wait till tomorrow to open it. And since I'm somewhat of a man of my word, I promised I would wait till then. So that's what we're going to do. Let's see where we got here. Christy Battle. Morning, Salmon. How are you? Good to see you. Tom Foster. Good to see you too. Jimmy Langford, what's going on, buddy? Found out a product you can use for baking my bread. It's called malt powder. Most bakers use it to make bread consistent. I use malt powder we've used malt powder in our waffle batter and in our pancake batter. That's kind of the secret ingredient to places like the diner style. We did diner style waffles in the Wapak waffle iron, and we've done several pancakes with the malt in it. Yeah, that's an old diner trick. It does make for some really, really good pancakes and waffles. But I've never done it in bread. I've never heard that. That's pretty cool. Thanks for showing up, Jimmy. It's good to see you. You guys can hear me as I got my head in the refrigerator. But yeah, tomorrow will be a pretty easy cook. It'll be just kind of I'm going to do an unboxing of a piece that I've had for quite some time that I've never used, and I'm actually pretty excited to use it. sort of been hanging out, marinating on the shelf, on the rack over there for a long time. And it should be ready to, It'll be fun to break it out tomorrow. Especially since we were talking about new modern cast iron. I'll be breaking out one of my pieces that is modern. That's never been used. Still has a label in it. So should be fun. That should be pretty cool. Let's see, cut up some strawberries. Those will be fun. That'll be good to have on the side. There we go. Those got up. There we go. All right. We'll take the fruit and we'll just set it over here. Plate that up as we want to have it. Keep the strawberries and the lemons on here. There we go. Perfect. I'll take that. I don't know, do you hear my stomach growling? I am starving. Gas station pizza. The breakfast pizza at Casey's is pretty good, but that was a whole day ago. So we put this off to the side. And we're going to use that dish again because we're going to mix up our cocktail sauce into that. There you go. And the lemon in there is going to be okay anyway. So I don't do anything fancy for cocktail sauce. It says ketchup and horseradish for me. That's plenty. As long as it's Heinz and Yoder's, as long as it's Heinz ketchup and Yoder's horseradish, I am a happy camper. If you have never had Yoder's horseradish, it's the best. It is absolutely best. Not too hot, not too mild, just perfect. Let's see here. Scoop that down the center. There we go. Perfect. I'm not even going to use near that for the lobster. Mostly I like the lobster with just butter, but I do like to dip just a little bit. There we go. That's done. Yeah, put this away. Check the comment section, see what's going on. That's a lot of horseradish. That's a perfect amount of horseradish. Perfect amount. Farmer's horseradish. I've never had that one. Is that the brand, Val? That's what they actually call it. The brand name of it is Farmer's. Let's see. Let's see. Check comment section again. It's hard to type with the wrong and only hand. Are you injured? Strong's Adventures? I've been like that when I had shoulder surgery. I was one-armed for a minute. The horseradish is good. Okay, get rid of this. Wipe that off. And then we'll kick the camera. It's never my live stream unless the camera's kicked at least 3 times. So you have that to look forward to. There's 2 more left. Let's see, wipe that down. There we go. All right, now let's break into let's get our lobsters. Lobsters out. Now, like I said, these are rock lobsters. They're not big. They're real small. And they're harder. Maine lobsters are easier to work with. When you got a 6-7 pound lobster, it's a lot easier to work with than a 6 or 7 ounce lobster. So don't expect miracles. Just is what it is. Move my leftover vegetables out of the way until I'm done. They can sit. And let me put my cover down so that my cutting board doesn't get all lobstered up. Let's see. My grandfather grew his own horseradish. It was like eating fire. Oh yeah, fresh out of the ground. That stuff's crazy. I've never grown it. I think that would be cool to do though. Maybe that's something we'll add to the repertoire of our garden this year. There's some horseradish root. Let's see. There's 1 and 2. There we go. There we are. Oven is heated up to 425, which is where we want that. And we'll cut this down, right down the center, right over top of that mud vein. Oh, wait, I forgot the most important part. Snap these little bones, you can see inside the exoskeleton of our lobster. You want to break these without putting your finger, that spine on the bottom. So you want to just take your thumb on either side of that spine and break that. And you want to, don't do it right in the middle, because there's, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there is a huge little spine right there. And we're going to crack that. And that's going to loosen up the tail meat, and you want to go all the way to the very bottom and break that, and then just kind of work it real quick on there. There we go. There we are. And we'll do the same thing to the other side. And usually there isn't a spine right there on that very first little rib. It's the only thing I could think to call it is a rib. But don't hit that thing. Hit that part. That part. That part. All the way down to the tail. And then take the scissors and we're going to cut right down the center, right above that mud vein. Should give you some pretty easy access to it. And we're going to go all the way to the top of the tail on both of those. Right above the mud vein. One thing about these that might be different than watching other people do videos is that I'm doing this in real time. So when you want to go inside there, and you want to open him up just a little bit and see the mud vein in there, you want to take that and make sure that that comes out of there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but right inside there is the mud vein right there. That bad boy out of there. We'll just go through, and you're just going to stick your finger right in the inside underneath that shell and break that loose. And pull. Once you've loosened that up, just go through there and take that mud vein out of there. There we go. All the way to the end. Finger up underneath there. Continue to break that. And break that open, just to move that open just a little bit. And take that all the way out. Like I said, I'm no New Englander, so if I'm not doing it absolutely the way they do it, that's because they've been doing it since they were little kids. we get the rest of that torn away, we'll take that off of there. There we go. And all the way down to here. And we're going to rinse it off too. So don't get too worried about all that. We'll peel that up on that side. A little spot doesn't want to come. Peel that off. And then do the same thing underneath. Just go underneath there, inside those ribs. And take your finger or your thumb and just go right underneath there on both sides. There we go. And just peel that up and put that right on top of that shell. And we'll rinse that off and get all the little shell fragments and little things that crept up there and get those off. We're going to do the same thing over here. Sometimes the mud vein is already out. This one's just sort of, no, it's where I move back a little bit. And we'll go through and pull that all the way out, up, and then fingers over, break that out of there, and break that out of there. There we go. And then over here, I can just imagine what's going on in the comment section right now. Rip my glove. That's the other reason I wear the gloves. Finger protection. Break that part out. These things are sharp. And when you're working with these little ones, they are tough to work with. Just your finger up underneath there, into there, into there, and up underneath there. There we go. All right. That one will just stick a little bit on the inside. And we'll flop that over top of that shell. Come underneath there a little bit farther. And there we go. So we have 2 lobsters ready to go. Take the mud vein the rest of the way out of that one. There we go. Then I'll take these over and rinse them off, and they'll be ready to go. All right. Well, I'll check the comment section and see how bad I did. Push that crevice out really well. There we go. All right. Slap those back on there. And there we go. Stick our pan in there to heat up. Change these gloves out. Man, those gloves took a beating. So far, so good. Mercy B has to be a tool for that. Yeah, they're, you know, and I think I have it. I think I have one. I should have used it. That would have been probably perfect right there. I have to remember next time that I have one of those. I have a couple of them. For doing eating crabs. Turn that butter down. Yeah. Everybody says I have a lot of stuff in my kitchen. I do. And sometimes I have so much stuff in my kitchen. If you're like me, you have so much stuff in your kitchen that sometimes you absolutely forget that you have that stuff in your kitchen. So let me take our pan and we'll throw it in there for a couple minutes. And we're just going to use a Pickle Favorite, best to cook in. And I'll throw that into the oven and we're going to let that, it's kind of heated up anyway. We'll give that about 2 minutes. Change my gloves. Throw the timer on. And then we'll get our plate ready. We'll move this stuff out of the way. We'll get the plates ready to go. There's a shell. Don't need that. All right. These will be looking good here in a second. I promise. I'm hoping. Hope, hope. Let's see who's all checking in tonight. Landon for Life, what's going on? What do you use to season your food? I use all kinds of stuff. For this, we're using butter, salted butter. Back over here, we've got our salted butter. We've got parsley, we've got bay leaf, we've got garlic. We've got, what else was in there? I think that was it. Oh, and a little bit of chives in there as well. We'll start mixing that around. And your enamel, please try to use silicone or wood. Don't be using the metal in there. Oh, that butter melted up. Well, that smells good. A little garlic butter. Yeah, that smells great. Those bay leaf is really coming out. That is looking. That's smelling that's smelling really nice. Teresa, how are you? Good to see you. Let's see. Welcome in. Yeah, we definitely welcome in. Definitely. So let's go over here. We'll fix up our lobsters. We'll make them look a little more presentable. Those down. Close that shell. This shell on this little one here took a beating. But it's the overall presentation that we're looking for. Especially for, like I said, we're doing this in real time. You know, a lot of times when you see videos where people are doing things like lobsters or things like that, they do a lot of takes. We got one take. So there we're at. Okay, we're at 425. We've let our pan heat up just a little bit. We're going to let it go I'm going to let it go 1 more minute. And see if I can't fan that out, bad boy out just a little bit. I think that's going to be where that's going to be our go-to. And we'll throw that in there. We've got our brush. And once I get it in there, once I get the pan over here, let's set this off to the side. So I don't need that anymore. Over here, we can let the exhaust from the oven, the exhaust vent from the oven, do its thing. Let's see who else is on. Come on, 3 ounce tail. I know, man. It's where I'm at. We're not on the East Coast. Let's see. That is a really cool kitchen knives. What brand are they? These are Forever Sharp. Forever Sharp. Stainless steel. Hi, Igor. Augie. Yeah, there's all kinds of folks showing up. Okay, that's cool. Timers off. Those are heated up. We've given them about 3 or 4 minutes. We just want the heat in the inside of that pan. We're going to oil. I'm going to put just a little bit of avocado oil inside the pan. Then we're going to butter those up. And then the seasoning on them and let them go for 10 to 12 minutes. And that's going to be plenty for those. So let's get the pan over this way. Get our pan out. Orange marmalade glaze for the lobster. There you go, Handsome Stone, right? That might not be bad. A little glazed lobster. There we go. Got our favorite ware. Nice 100-year-old pan to put everything, mix these lobsters into. I hope they stand up okay. I was going to use a smaller pan, but I didn't think about it until after I'd already done it. There we go. There we are. Glaze for the lobster. Just draw the butter for my lobster, please. There you go. 100%. Let's get you guys right over top of that. Just around so this doesn't stick too bad. I don't get any. So the pan's easy to clean up. Really what the oil is all about. You see that okay? Yeah, that's a little better view than where I've been most of the night. Let's see. There we go. Okay. He's down into there. Fan that out. Is that hot? No, that's just fine. Then we'll throw our nice lobster and butter on top of there. So it gets a little brown, just a little crispy. There we go. A lot of that garlic on there. And the parsley. I like a little parsley with my seafood. Not a lot. Too much parsley can really tear it down. Kind of overpower. There we go. I'll take that. All right. Set that right there. Those can go in. And then we'll clear our spot back off so we can kind of start plating stuff up. There's not a lot to it. Lobsters are easy for the most part. If we could get that off of there. We get the shark. There we go. Need to get the shark. There we go. All right. So we're going to go 12 minutes and we'll take its temperature. There we go. Cool. Let's see. I'm making strawberry cranberry jam and spicy peach jam tomorrow to work through the daylight savings. Yeah, right? Yeah, have fun. Have fun. Man, I don't like, we were just, I'm sure you were here while I was complaining about that already. It's just ridiculous. I could just give it's got to give somebody somewhere has a job in the government because of daylight savings time. There's a division that makes a lot of money and wears a nice suit every day, nice suits to work, to study the benefits of daylight savings time. That's the only thing I can figure out. Take that, wipe it off, and then we'll move that out of the way. We'll move everything out of the way. We don't need any more lobster juice on the counter. Done with all that. Put that over here. Put that in the sink. I'll run the dishwasher in just a little bit, along with everything else. And dry that up a little bit more. Let's see, that sounds good. Sounds good. You mean the jam sounds good? Yeah, the jam sounds amazing. All right. Counter off a little bit. That off a little bit. There we go. Don't need the cutting board anymore. We'll wipe that down a couple times. Get everything out of the way. Yeah, I didn't see what time I started this, but I don't think it took long to make lobster in a salad. So that's kind of nice. There we go. Okay. Let me wipe that off one more time. And then we'll start plating everything up. Let's see. I'm making some gigantic crawfish and some daylight savings time sucks. Yeah. Yeah, I think aren't lobsters in the actually in the insect category? Because I know when we had the oh, what are those bugs called? The cicadas. When the cicadas came around a couple years ago, they told everybody not to eat the cicadas with the that had a seafood allergy because they were so closely related to shrimp or something along those lines. So we got our fruit and our lemons. We got our plate over here. There we go. The plate's just a little too, that plate there is just a little too big for that spot. There we go. There we are. Get some of our salad dished up into there. And we should be cockroaches of the sea. Yeah. I don't want to think about them being cockroaches, though. Let's see, how's the color look? Yeah, it looks on one of these screen, one of the other screens, it looks darker than normal. So I'm hoping that's not what really is going on. Top, move the salad on there. Go. Let us down. Go. Get some of the other vegetables out of the bottom. Check out the comment section too while I'm doing that over here. Some of the other fun stuff that's in there. There we go. Some of that salad up there. There we are. Should use a bigger bowl. Oh well. That's funny. Let's see. They may be related, but anyone knows the smell surrounding roaches. I'll squish them and eat. I'll squish them and eat lobster. Yeah, 100%. I've never really had much experience around roaches. I know when I lived in in Cincinnati, we were at the pier on the Ohio River, and there were these one big bugs that had wings, and the people we were with said that those were some kind of a cockroach, and they were enormous. They were like they flew, and the people that were like native to there said, yeah, those are cockroaches. Those are some form of a roach. So, and I believed them. I mean, they were from there, so they probably know better than I would. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. We had all manner of insects flying and getting around, but I never saw too many roaches. A myriad of other things. I know you've never been more scared of a spider as if you're walking through the middle of a cornfield and you run right into one of those big black and yellow spiders that go in between the corn stalks, that do their webs in between the corn stalks, and you walk right into them and they're the size of a baseball mitt. That's probably as shocking as seeing any kind of roach type anything. Probably just matters about more like concentrations. It seems like those kind of critters kind of just go where there's more of a concentration of people and things to things to be around. There you go. Yeah, we used to go, I don't know what those spiders were. We used to just call them electric spiders when we were little because they were just black. They were a dark black. They were huge, and they just had like these yellow and green, like they almost looked like veins that went through them. Okay, so we got that part. The salad's done. We got about 3 minutes left on the lobsters. We've got our sauce going. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I was going to make. I was going to make some like corn or something on the side, but let's see. I got to check out Badger. I got to check out. I got to check that. Check out. Thanks for the video. Oh, I got you. Yeah, see you, Jimmy. Hit the like button on your way out, buddy. I appreciate you. Thanks for, and show up tomorrow. We're going to be around at 11:30 doing with that surprise box opening, breaking out some new cast iron, and we're going to be making some breakfast tomorrow. We're going to be making a breakfast casserole in said cast iron, or we're just going to have just a little lull. So we're just going to have a little sip and wait on everything to appear. And these little lobsters should be ready to go. Welcome this dinosaur land in this strange land. We found the Princess Toadstool is missing again. Looks like Bowser is at it again. No Mario Kart reference. Let's see. Have a good night, Jimmy. Yeah. Hi, Windows. I'm surprised we haven't seen GH in here yet. Seen our dude. Oh, man, I got you guys all out of the picture. There you go. Good time for Beagsy to make an appearance. Where is the Beagle? What's she doing? Beagle is sleeping. The Beagle's out. She's watching something about the royals. Some channel that's about the royal family. I don't know. They were showing the weddings and stuff. It's like the lineage of the royal family. Something that's on like the, I don't even have it switched over to the Wi-Fi or anything. It's just a regular channel that comes with a TV. Kind of keeps the dog. I just throw that on when I'm in and out of the house. Keeps the dog entertained. She does watch a lot of Gunsmoke though. She does like Gunsmoke. The horses, I think. I think that's her big thing with that. Let's see how these lobsters are doing. Like I said, I didn't have this really timed out. It's more of an equipment check than anything else tonight. And we'll hang out while I'm having my dinner. It's good to hang out with you guys while we're doing a little cooking. Talk a little cast iron if it comes up and make a little something. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we could use some Beagle though. Beagle. Biggs. She's not moving. She's not motivated by it. Oh, somebody did just show up. There she is. Good to see you, Biggs. Everybody was waiting on you. Oh, she went over to look in her bowl to see if anything was in there. These towels real quick. Oh, we got sitting right there. Here we go. There's the Beagle. She's doing Mom the meatloaf. Some feta or gorgonzola would go good on that salad. That's what's on there. Gorgonzola. That's what's on the salad right there. Yeah, that's exactly what I've got on there. There we go. There she is. She's like, and I'm ready for my snack. Oh, let me tilt this back up. I had to tilt it so far over. It's about ready to tip. Oh. This is how we broke the one the last time. Oh, saying the lobster's ready, but it's not. All right, Beagle, come over here. You want to do? She's like, I just was sleeping. I don't want to do a spin. Come here. You want a treat? Give me a spinner. Come on, go do a spin. Give me a spin. Come on, do one. There you go. Anything for a treat. There you go. Good job, Eagle. This smile ready for the, yeah, 100%. Hey, Fuzz, what's going on, buddy? Did you make it through the storm today? Figured you'd be up there building an ark up by the lake. Can I get one more spin? And then I'm going to get the lobster out. Come on, give me a spin. There you go. There you go. All right. Yeah, she's doing good. She's doing good. I'll let her finish her snack. She's got it there on the floor. She's been eating pretty good. She's had chicken. She's had steak today. She did all right. Fuzz built his ark from from his cats. He's got at least 2 of every kind of cat. He's got 2 orange ones, 2 calicos, 2 black ones, 2 white ones. He's got 2 of every cat there is. Okay, there we go. All right. Ratings just shot up. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, they did go up. Yeah, a few people stopped in. Okay, so let's grab the lobsters out of there. I'm going to take their temperature real quick, and then we'll plate those up. They should be ready to go, one way or the other. Doggo do a flip. She did a spin. She did 2 spins. Let's see how these are looking. There we go. Let's take the temperature. I want it to be about 145. 145. Come on, 145. Oh yeah. Make sure that the front meat is between 145 and 155. Yep. That one's a little high. That one's a little, yeah. That didn't take near as long as it usually does. 155. So we're about 10 degrees over. Not bad. Not too bad. Double check everywhere. Turn that timer off. Yeah. 154. 153. All the way down in there. Yeah. We're cool. It's good to go. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Take you guys over here, right over top of them. Yeah, they came out pretty good. Not bad for Midwest lobsters. Okay, we'll give them a try here and just get them on there. There we go. One and the other one. There we go. I'll take that. Turn the oven off. There we go. Yeah, that's not too bad for a midnight snack. Give the dog a lobster. The dog will get a little bit of, she'll have some lobster. And we'll pour some butter over top of those. Go, pour a little butter on top. There we go. A little garlic butter inside of there. And we'll get we got our little fork and our knife. Let's get a knife and fork here on this. There we go. Get you guys over there without, I tilt it too much. It'll fall over. There we go. There we go. That should be okay. We should be cool on that. Get a lobster. And we'll just take a little bite of that. Normally I'd let these cool off and then I just peel the whole thing off, but not right now. For time's sake. But yeah, that looks pretty good. Not overdone. Not all. Lemon juice on top of there. That's really good. I got no complaint with my little rock lobsters. None whatsoever. Yeah, that's pretty good. A nice steak would go good with it. But yeah, that's not bad at all. Try some of our cocktail sauce. I know some people think that's sacrilegious, but I have no couth. The lobster came out really, really good. It's not chewy. It's not overly fishy from being underdone. Actually came out really nice. I will take that all day long. Around some of that butter down there. More of that lemon. Yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, definitely stop back again tomorrow, 9:30 or 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow should be a really fun time. I'm really looking forward to the mystery box opening from a viewer. Who knows what could be in it? But I am willing to find out. Break that open and peel the rest of the way off. Peel this thing the rest of the way out of there. Get dirty. Pull that out. Get rid of all that. Down in that butter. Some of the cocktail sauce. Man, that's good. What will the beagle be wearing tomorrow? I don't want to overdress. I don't know. It really depends on the weather more than anything else. That's generally how we decide what she's going to wear. But if I'm going to be gone for a while, then it's definitely the security vest. She wears the security vest if I'm going to be gone, so that if anybody breaks in, they know she's on duty, and then that'll deter them from breaking into the house. That's cooled down enough now. I can just kind of pull that whole thing out of there and ditch that piece and get right into that because of my great manners. This is why Ma Badger doesn't watch it. She knows she raised me better than this, but Now I need to make a crawfish, or man, I need to make some crawfish. I make a crawfish scampi that is really good, but the problem with it is, the reason I don't make it a lot is because it's hard for me to find the wine that I use to make it. Because a lot of the other wines, I'm just not that into, or it's real bitter. But when I can find the wine that I use to make it, I will make that one of these streams. Man, that's good. Yeah, for rock lobsters from the grocery store, that's not too bad. I'm going with a little bit of this. Cocktail sauce does not need to be complicated to be good. It just needs to be done. What, no ads for cure? Let's see, dang. Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, there's the cast iron cure link. Beak sets our style. Yeah, she does. She actually dresses a lot better than I do, to be really completely honest. Here we go. Oh, that strawberry was good. Oh wait, there's more. Yeah, 100%. All right, well, I'm gonna jump off here. I'm gonna finish having my dinner, get this stuff cleaned up real quick so I can get to bed. Because I think, what time does the time change start? Like 2 o'clock in the morning? Is that what the deal is? So I know it's already almost 1 o'clock. It's going to be pushing 1 o'clock in the morning here soon. So, oh yeah, Rick, no problem, man. Thanks so much for stopping in and moderating this madness. And thanks to everybody who showed up. Fuzz, Strong's Adventures, thank you so much for stopping in. Mercy B, thanks for stopping in. Val, thank you so much for stopping in. And everybody else, I'm going to keep it real. Always party when she shows up. And yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's going to be a fun one. We're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff to come early morning or late morning, early afternoon. Either way you want to look at it. But anyway, thanks for showing up. We will see you guys tomorrow. All right. See you.